I'm Mike Bradner, and this is Capitol Views, and we have with us today Lisa Parady. And Lisa, I will let you describe your organization because you have many bosses.
That is true, and thank you so much for inviting me today. It's a pleasure to be here. I am the Executive Director for the Alaska Council of School Administrators, and that is an umbrella organization for Superintendents Association, elementary and secondary principals, school business officials. I'm the Executive Director of the Alaska Superintendents Association, Alaska Association of Secondary School Principals. So in essence, we're the voice of school districts minus teachers and school board members. But we work closely with the organizations that represent them as well.
So you're one of two or three advocacy groups for education, basically. I mean, you may come at it from different directions, but you're all looking at the same goal.
I think that's a good way to say it, yes.
So tell us what's on your agenda this year. I mean, what are you looking at in this legislature?
Well, thanks. I bring our entire group's position statements in that response, in that every year each of the members of the associations that I spoke to vote on actual positions. And this year's joint position statements, I think like it's on everyone's mind, is priority funding for education, and in that providing timely, reliable, and predictable funding so that schools can plan, and really that's just going to require that we have a fiscal plan that includes revenues. So that's a high priority for our members. And on the policy side, we're very interested in working on initiatives that will help us with hiring and retaining qualified educators. That's important.
Talk a little more about that.
Okay. We are in a crisis of such that we have not seen before in Alaska in terms of turnover. And our teacher turnover has long been too high in the rural areas, but that has crept into the urban areas a little more as well. So we continue to see high turnover rates and difficulty in terms of staffing for those positions because we're reflective of the national shortage that's occurring, but I like to say we're a little bit on steroids because our numbers in terms of being able to attract qualified educators, we're struggling. The same principle is being applied to superintendents and principals. So by way of example, our superintendent turnover in 4 years is almost 60%. It's 59%.
Are these people retiring? Are they leaving the state or going, perhaps other districts? But
I think all of the above. I'd like to think about it in business terms. If you were running a business and you had a third of your staff turning over every year, your middle management was turning over every other year, and your CEO was a revolving door, your stability is at risk there, and so is your output. So it's an issue that we're really working on to better support districts, and one of the ways in which we're doing that will be trying to put retire rehire back on the table as one tool that might be available to districts for hiring. I think all of our districts are doing a really good job of induction.
Does this make, if you have this high turnover, collaboration between your superintendents more difficult? I mean, they have to know each other, that awareness, and their districts are widely separated. They're not right next door to each other.
It's true. We are certainly spread out geographically. I think our school superintendents do a great job of collaborating to the degree that they're able to. But we, in the last 2 years, because of this high turnover rate, have put in place mentoring programs, academies for brand new superintendents to help them with that transition, using our veteran superintendents to help coach them in things such as budget and all of the important pieces in terms of facilities,
Now, you've
that
spent
kind of thing.
time in rural Alaska. You were
Yes.
in Barrow for
6 years,
6 years. Top of the world.
top of the world. That's
So-
right, in the Arctic.
And a very unique district. That's,
It is a unique district. It's a beautiful district. Really enjoyed our time.
so this sort of ties in with also teacher turnover. I mean, you're having a high turnover. Why is that taking place?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a shortage of people going into the profession, and so we're struggling with attracting people to the teaching profession. And then in Alaska, I think it ranges, but you know, in rural Alaska, by way of example, you have a lot of factors. You know, is there teacher housing? You know, what are those conditions? I think you know, we're continuing to experience turnover and difficulty in recruiting our high need areas such as math and science and special education. So it's each district varies, but I know that there's a lot of attention being put into strategies around how do we best support our teachers when they get here, and how do we help to retain them through supports in the districts to meet their needs. Ultimately, all trying to find stability for the districts for our
We sort of
students.
have an untypical retirement benefit system. I mean, we
Yes.
switched, and I've understood that that's caused some problems where people stay 5 or 6 years and pick up their benefits and go.
I think our benefits package is certainly different than it used to be, and so our competitiveness has declined nationally. It used to be job fairs, there would be lines out the door to try to come to Alaska because of the competitive salaries and the benefits package. And now when you attend the Alaska Job Fair, you know, we're barely seeing just over 200 people. And so across the districts, that's a tough pull. We've lost some ground there.
Lisa, believe it or not, we're out of time. It's wonderful to talk to you, and let's cross our fingers that we all pull this thing together. I'm Mike Bradner, this is Capital Views, and we've been talking to Lisa Parady, who is the Executive Director of, let me just say, administrators.
Well, thank you.
you.
You know, I do know the fiscal crisis continues to be very real, and we want to be a part of that solution. But really what's going on in education is another question. How do we best support our kids to learn?
That's right.
So thank you very much for your
Thank
time
you.
today. Greatly appreciate it.